Hi, Bill Bauer with B&M Crop Consulting. We've been getting a lot of calls about spider mites here in southern Michigan. And our weather's been very variable. Some places are getting moisture, some places are getting a little dry. One thing we need to think about is we don't need to walk away from our soybeans yet. You know, a lot of things are done already, but spider mites are starting to show up, and we want to make sure that we're controlling spider mites, or at least scouting for them, make sure we don't have a problem while we're starting to fill these pods out.
There's a couple things that keep in mind with the spider mites from a weather perspective. They definitely like the drier conditions and low humidity, and we really had a big crash in our humidity here at the end of July and first part of August. One thing we haven't really had is really high temps, so if we start to get some warm weather back, we get some 85-90 degree days, their development can really be quick, and you can really see big explosions.
So their development goes from, our life cycle in the spider mites goes from 5 days to 19 days depending on weather. So if it's 90 degrees out, that life cycle is going to happen in about 5 days. If it's 50 degrees out, it's going to be stretched out as much as 19. The females themselves are born where they can lay eggs right away, and a female will lay 50 to 100 eggs each. So if you think about low humidity, 90 degree days, 50 to 100 eggs, 5 days in a life cycle, they've been known to go from just a little infestation to 70x in no time at all.
So what we want to do is try to catch it before we get to the point that our plants are this severely stunted. So these plants are fairly stunted from the spider mites themselves. Here's some plants with more of an earlier infestation, and this is really at the point that we want to try to catch things.
Right, so we're going to try to zoom in here and take a look at some of this speckling. So what we want to see is some of the sandblasting on the underside of the leaves. This is the early signs of the damage, and what this two-spotted spider mites does is it pierces the plant, and where it pierces the plant, the juices come out, and that plant's not able to recover or fix that tissue. So I'm going to take a hand lens here, and we're going to try to get close enough where you can actually see the spider mites moving around. So these, you can see the sandblasting and the mites moving around in there. There's also eggs. One thing you need to think about controlling these is we can control the adults, but we can't control the eggs or the nymphs. So it's very difficult once we have an infestation to make sure we're spraying the right chemicals. We don't want to go out here with a pyrethroid that doesn't control them and flare them up. We want to use a Lorsban, bifenthrin, or dimethylate, something that's going to control them.